it seems like there actually might be some teeth to this rumor. Some who live online over the weekend may have noticed Trevor Bauer on his Instagram story posting a video of picking up an Astros hat. This is the same Trevor Bauer who has on numerous times called out the Houston Astros for perceived cheating, and the same Trevor Bauer who has been at the center of allegations of assault. One of these stories, it seems, was completely made up. Some of these other stories we're not so sure about. Whatever the case, Bauer's already not very well liked by Houston Astros fans. Bauer has this off-the-field stuff in his wake, but from the sound of things, and I was looking for a Rosenthal or Olney or Passan kind of account, Joe, to confirm that this indeed had happened. But from the sound of things, the Astros may have watched Trevor Bauer throw a bullpen session over the weekend. That is surprising to me. Do you look at Trevor Bauer, Joe, as somebody who's going to be able to help out the Houston Astros in 2024?
I mean, based off what he posts on social media, he's doing pretty well this year.
Define pretty well.
He's set a record for most strikeouts in a row in the Mexican League game he was in.
Okay.
So, actually, like, they're doing this really cool thing where I was just, like, they have him mic'd up during games, and he's making content out of it. I don't want the Astros to sign Trevor Bauer. I made my stance clear on that early on when we did the show, when we started doing the show. I think it'd be a mistake. I get they're desperate now at this point, with Javier and Urquidy done for the year and done for next year. Like people keep saying, they might pitch in September. Okay, keep believing that. They're not going to pitch in 2025. I would be stunned if they did this. I mean, all it takes is a Twitter search to find Trevor Bauer in a t-shirt that says Trash Town in it with the Astros logo and stuff like that. There's been so much animosity between him and this organization that would surprise me, honestly.
I don't see the clubhouse accepting him because of that.
And normally I don't really care. Like, you'll get along with your teammates or you won't. But this seems pretty extreme to what he has said about the Astros organization. And not just the organization, about the fans, about the front offices that they've had. Everything going back to the cheating scandal, he has been, enemy number one for the Astros, whether it's because of his actions or the way that he's just talked about the team. This would surprise me. I'll be honest, Bonda, whatever his name is, I think he's a fraud. I'm just being straight up. I don't, he's the one who put it out there. I know he's gotten a couple things right. I know his sources are just Astros media members that are working for the team, and they tell him little things here and there. I don't buy it. I don't really buy that they are in the Trevor Bauer business, and I don't think they should be in the Trevor Bauer business.
Bauer succeeding in the Mexican League does not make me feel like his struggles over in Japan are so far in the rearview mirror. I want to see him do this against, major league hitters. And to bring him into this clubhouse, do any of us look at Joe Espada as someone who would be able to mediate things between guys who have been in the Astros organization for a while and this guy who seems like he can't shut up?
Yeah. No. There's no way Joe Espada can handle that.
And maybe Espada doesn't need to handle that. Maybe it's supposed to be someone in the Astros clubhouse, but I would then ask the question, well, who is going to be that person? Because for what it's worth, the one thing that you can always say about this Astros clubhouse is that they seem to be a very tight-knit group. Maybe they're not the same that they were last year, but bringing him in, I feel like, not only welcomes, he might just suck now. It also, and you're going to lose some games because you're throwing him out there out of desperation. There's also the possibility where he just doesn't mesh with any of these guys and creates more issues than solutions.
And honestly, if he's bad, it would rile your fan base up even more. There are already going to be people who don't like it. I don't really believe also the people who say they're not going to watch the team. Those are the same people who said they weren't going to watch the team with Osuna when he was on it. They still watch the games. people say that online. I don't think they really ever truly mean it. But if you bring in Bauer and then he's terrible for you, then it's a black eye on the organization, and your fans are questioning your judgment.
Justin Verlander and Lance McCullers spoke out against the Astros adding Roberto Osuna, who at the very least was a good pitcher in the major leagues at that point in his career. I really wonder what this team would do if they actually brought in Bauer. And I don't think things are at the point right now, even though they are struggling, of course. I don't think things are at the point right now where this kind of desperation is warranted. And I see some people pushing back to an extent on the Twitch, specifically Junior Broncos, like, hey, what do you have to lose? I think is sort of the idea behind some of the stuff that's being said here. But I actually think that there is something to lose here if you bring him in. I'm not convinced that he's still good. I get it. Wow, he pitched well in Mexico. Cool, great, wonderful. I mean, the Mike Fiers League, great. He's good over there.
Mike Fiers was in League City the other day. He was in my backyard, apparently.
Oh, yeah?
Playing softball. Someone got him to sign a rat trap.
Did you go over say hi?
I should. If I would have known ahead of time, I probably would have gone to try to talk to Mike Fiers. But I did not know. It was too late. It's not just about it's about the clubhouse. Like, this is not look, he is not charged with anything.
I'm not talking about the off the field stuff, really. I don't know that he's the same player.
Yeah.
And I do feel pretty comfortable saying the guy is annoying as hell.
Yeah, like
right?
the Twitch here is having a conversation trying to ask what the difference is between Joe Mixon and Trevor Bauer.
That's a fair question.
You're right, but the difference is, to me, is pretty cut and dry. The Texans players want Joe Mixon to be there. I don't think Alex Bregman and Lance McCullers and some of these guys who have been here since 2017 want Trevor Bauer to be here. Like, it's the off the field stuff. It's not about the lawsuit that he went through. It's about what he said about the organization. It's what he said about the players, what he said about the fans. Like, it's not about the charges that got dropped against him, and like, it looks like he got set up. I don't think there's any, like, those are facts. This is not. It's about the teammates in this situation,
at least by Lindsey Hill, but there's supposedly other allegations.
Yeah. That's I think what's happening here is people are questioning like the moral stand against, like, if there's a moral stand against signing Trevor Bauer. They're like, well, let's question the morale. Is it actually the or Lindsey Hill thing? Whatever. It's like, no. We're saying that we don't think that the guys in the locker room will even like him. Like, we're not even going. It's not about morality. This is strictly about the person, the personality of Trevor Bauer. Where the Dodgers, he was on the Dodgers as these came out, but even before then, there's stories about the Dodgers clubhouse didn't really love Trevor Bauer, and the Dodgers clubhouse isn't the Astros clubhouse, right. The ones that he has called cheaters.
No one had his back during that incident. When all that stuff came to light, no one defended him.
People defended Deshaun Watson.
Right. Deshaun Watson had tons of support. You're right. And Deshaun Watson, I mean, how many instances were there?
24?
Yeah. With Trevor Bauer, I'm not sure what the number actually is, but none of his teammates in LA had his back. So if they don't like him,
do with that information as you will.
And he's not necessarily the same guy that he used to be. What's the point of this?
I mean, you think about the Dodgers, like Walker Buehler is pitching this year, coming off when he missed a lengthy amount of time for Tommy John. Dustin May, one of their young prospects, is back or is out. Clayton Kershaw, we all know his story. He's always hurt. So what did they do this offseason? Well, they signed Shohei Ohtani, who can't pitch this year, and they signed Glasnow, who always gets hurt. Why aren't they signing Trevor Bauer? I don't know, man, because no one likes this dude. Like, it's an indictment on Trevor Bauer, the teammate, of why he's not in baseball. So I would be shocked if the Astros signed him. I would be shocked if Trevor Bauer ever plays in the MLB again, because I think everyone thinks he just kind of sucks. Like, it's not about.
Yeah, I don't think this is a moral stand. I
it's like, this dude stinks.
I think if people liked him, he would be in the MLB.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Honestly, I mean, from us doing radio perspective, from a content, while the Astros are a sub 500 baseball team, I mean,
through the roof.
It'd be awesome.
YouTube numbers, big time.
So the Astros side, Trevor Bauer. I mean, yeah, we could throw that clickbait stuff out there. It would be good for us from a content perspective, but is he still good? I don't know. Probably not.
He's dominating the Mexican League.
dominating the Mexican League.
Yeah. They should, just to see how good the Mexican League is, they should send Jose Abreu to the Mexican League and just see what his numbers are.
I like that. I like that strategy.
Just as like how hard is this league?
Leagues that I think are probably better than the Mexican League. The Japanese League, the Cuban League.
AAA?
Yes. AAA is probably better.
Double A?
Like, the other thing
Korean League?
Yep. I used to bet on that during the pandemic. I was really bored.
Taiwan? Did you say the Taiwan League?
Does Taiwan have a league?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One China.
China. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Chinese Taipei.
You know who else? Can I tell you?
Sorry.
Let's like I'm gonna change this a little bit.
Hit me.
Okay. Like, have we talked much about the starting pitching being a problem over the last couple, days? Like they've been pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
just
the bullpen the problem?
Just the guys whose arms explode.
Yeah. Like, isn't the bullpen the problem right now? You know who's in the Japan Pacific League right now, who last year had a .92 ERA and this year has a 2.82 ERA, and last year in 2022 in the Mexican League, the same one that Trevor Bauer's in, had a 1.35 ERA. Roberto Osuna.
Ugh.
So that's why aren't we having that conversation? Like, he's dominating in these irrelevant baseball leagues that don't really matter to us. Like, why not bring him? His ERA is less than 3. It was less than 1 last year.
Got some familiarity with the Astros clubhouse.
Knows the system.
He already knows the people that don't want to talk to him here. Like, problem solved. Can
they rehire Brandon Calvin?
He already knows not to talk to Justin Verlander. Go get him.
That makes more sense. Honestly, that makes more sense. Isn't that crazy?
Or it makes just the same amount of sense, which is very little.
Right.
Yeah. Like, same thing. Like, never going to pitch in the majors again. Wonder why.
If you want to weigh in on that, 713-780-3776 to call, to text. You can join on Twitter at Gallant Says, at Joe George Radio, at Shawnee Mapes, on our YouTube channel at ESPN Houston, twitch.tv/ESPN 97.5. Junior Broncos had an interesting twitch when it comes to our conversation about whether or not the Houston Astros should think about Trevor Bauer. There were rumors, and I don't know if they've actually been corroborated or substantiated, that they witnessed him throwing a bullpen session. What we do know is that Trevor Bauer was trolling a little bit at the very least by posting on his Instagram story a picture of him or a video of him picking up a Houston Astros hat. Junior Broncos had this to say: the Astros might actually play better with a fresh injection of hate and booze. Do you buy into that?
I mean, it works for Altuve. The louder you boo that man, the farther his home runs go, it seems like. I kind of do. They've thrived on that.
I don't know if Bauer, though, a once every 5 games kind of appearance is going to turn the Astros into the pariah that they were right after all the sign-stealing stuff went public. I just don't think it's going to happen that quickly.
Also, this Astros team is different in a lot of ways to previous Astros teams who fed off the negativity. I just pulled it up. Their record away from Minute Maid Park this year, 13-18. So
Oof.
I don't know if the booze help.
So they're actually better at home.
Well, maybe no one's booing
they're
this year.
17-18 at home.
Ah!
Why are you booing a bad team? What's the point?
Well, it's not a bad team at home anymore, because last year they had a worse record.
Yeah,
Hey, they fixed the batter's high, okay? Now they just need to fix all the road stadiums to be good again.
Figured something out, that's for sure.
I know. Is the Bauer thing? Do you think the Bauer thing would translate to stadiums no matter where he signs? Like the anger. It seems more like a social media.
Yes, I agree.
Like the Astros was bigger because it was on every radio show, every talk show across the country.
Oh, yeah.
The Astros cheating scandal was the biggest story in sports.
I was up in Seattle defending the wall. It was annoying. I was like, can we not talk about this? Because like I'm just going to look like an a-hole in Seattle.
Oh yeah, you definitely were.
Because I was like, this is not as big of a deal as it's being made out to be. Also, Spygate wasn't a big deal either. And they were like, "Rah! You like the Patriots too? I'll kill you."
But like Bauer signing, I just don't think outside social media, like it really.
I agree.
If he signed with the Royals, no one would care.
Yeah,
The Royals are a better team than the Astros this year. If he signed with the Royals, people would not care.
yeah.
It's just because people, I think, would like to have another reason to hate on the Astros. But
yeah,
I mean, right now the Astros are giving them all the content they need by being bad, or at least a sub 500 baseball team.
Bad.
But there's lots of time left. There's lots of time left.
There's lots of time.
It's like 2 or 3 over the weekend. Oh my God. We do have a caller that wants to weigh in on the Houston Astros at 713-780-3776. It's Marvin. Marvin, what's going on, bud?
Hey guys, I was wondering, why can't we pick up Trevor Bauer? Is it because of reverse racism? Because he's white?
What?
Look at Joe Mixon. He plays for the Texans. I think Trevor Bauer's getting the Caitlin Clark's, what's going to happen with her with the racism.
Marvin, why are we bringing race into this? Trevor Bauer's pitching in the Mexican League. Joe Mixon last year had close to 1,000 yards. Joe Mixon produced last year. Trevor Bauer's not pitching in the majors. What does this have to do with Caitlin Clark?
Give him a chance. She's getting all this hate because she's a great white player.
Race has nothing to do with it. Race has nothing to do with this. Trevor Bauer is...
Look at Deshaun Watson. He's playing. He sexually abused like 24 massage therapists. One of them was my sister.
Okay, but why are you equating this? We're talking specifically about Trevor Bauer here. It's about Trevor Bauer, whether or not he can still pitch. He's pitching in the Mexican League.
Mexican League's pretty good. That's where they found Jake.
Marvin, why is he not on? Why is he not? Marvin, why is he not on any team besides the Astros?
Because maybe he's a ASSHOLE.
Okay, that's okay. Forget Sean. Dump that. You can't spell it still. Even though, so to your point, he is that. Then why does it have to do with race if he's just a bad teammate and just a bad dude?
Well, he didn't do anything wrong. That's because he's not a
Marvin, are you an
good
Astros
teammate.
fan? Marvin, you're an Astros fan.
Yeah. Do you think Dusty would trade for Jake Myers to the Giants?
Marvin, are you an Astros fan?
Of course.
Okay, so you think
Since 80.
So you don't think that him wearing a T-shirt that says Trastros is part of the reason why he's not on this team?
Well, if he pitches good, we can forgive him for all that.
Okay, but is he going to pitch good, Marvin? This is the question. This is why he's not in the majors, because he hasn't pitched good in the major leagues in a while.
Well, bring him up and let's see what he has. And if he pitches great,
so do something that a desperate team would do. You're the Houston Astros. Let's do a desperate thing. Bring in a guy that is not well liked. Forget all the off the field stuff. And again, you're only talking about one of the incidents. You're talking about the situation that he had with Lindsey Hill, where it's clear that Lindsey Hill was up to something, right? Okay, but there's other situations that happen. And Marvin, you're bringing up this idea that there's some sort of racism against him, and you're trying to insert all sorts of different hot button things that you would find at Outkick into this conversation about Marvin. I don't understand why you're trying to force all these things here. The matter is whether or not he can pitch. Are you going to bring him up to see if he can pitch when he has not necessarily been pitching well at the major league level? Mexico baseball is not good. Japan baseball is a higher level than Mexico baseball. He wasn't good in Japan. I don't understand why you're trying to make this a whataboutism situation with these other people. It's a matter of, would he fit in this clubhouse? The odds are probably no. And a matter of, can he pitch? Which he probably can't.
What Astros pitcher has been good this year?
What Astros pitcher has been good this year? How about we start with Ronel Blanco? How about we look at what Framber Valdez did in the last start? Marvin, you're done. I'm sorry. I heard him try to do this call earlier. You can't try to force every single hot button culture war topic into the signing of one player who, one, is not well liked across the sport, two, might not be good at pitching anymore. Hey, let's give him a chance to see if he's good. Okay. Didn't you do that with Blair Henley? How did that work out?
Yeah. And honestly, if you're going to do it, just don't be a coward. If you're going to say it's racism, just say it's racism. That was something.
It was something.
That was something.
I didn't know you couldn't spell it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, you can't spell it either.
It's a new
Why
rule.
not?
Same thing.
But you can, if you're around kids, you can spell it, and that's fine.
Until they can spell themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying.
Isn't that who we're protecting with not saying it?
No. We're protecting you from Karens.
Can they spell it?
Most of the time, Karens can spell.
Okay.
They're the real ones who complain. Yeah. Just saying.
That's sexist. What are you, Trevor Bauer?
Okay, could be Ken's as well. Good point.
That's reverse
Ken's
sexism.
Reverse sexism. It could be Ken's and Karen's.